My name's Adam Manaka and I'm the Financial Controller for Hi-Tec Oils. With our national capacity, we can now service Australian companies nationwide. Of late, we have now expanded into the New Zealand market. Here at Hi-Tec Oils, we receive premium base oils and premium additive packs. Together, with our highly trained staff, we manufacture over 500 premium quality products. Hi-Tec Oils is Australian made and Australian owned.
Well, it all comes down to this, the final round of the Hi-Tec Oils Drift All-Stars with the Famous Insurance Pro-Am Series run and done tonight. The podiums are shaping up and we've got some tight divisions in the points ladder. But Scott, what a 2017 we've had.
Oh mate, it's been chaotic, crazy, plenty of good battles, plenty of young upcomers stepping up, which is really good to see. Hopefully we finish the season off on a high, all the drivers get up there, mate. We might see some new faces tonight in the podium, which would be good to see for this season.
Couple of blow-ups, some big repairs throughout the season, but everyone is here and hungry for some points tonight with a really tight division at the top of our championship ladder with Brad Toohey out in front, Rob Avellino right behind him, and chasing their heels, Bo the Show Yates. And we're sure to see some tight battles, not only between those guys, but the rest of the ladder who have been coming up and fighting so hard throughout 2017. It's great to have Playdead on board as a sponsor for the Hi-Tec Drift All-Stars, keeping these cars looking immensely clean. Talking about good looks though, I think I see a little bit of green in that mirror in Isaac Get's car. That reminds me of a certain chef I know.
Yeah, Isaac wanted to borrow my race suit, so he handed it off to him. I think he actually looks better than I ever did, so well, good on him, and hopefully it brings him some good luck tonight.
It's going to be a hard battle for you to watch, Scott. Isaac Get in your race suit up against your boy Scotty Chambers, all the way up here from Tasmania with that supercharged 1UZ K70 Corolla, with Isaac Get leading in the R33 Skyline.
As they come around the first corner, Chambers has still been battling a few dramas with his car. We thought they got it sorted during the week, but unfortunately it looks like the alternator's dying, and it's showing right there, as you can see him straighten up. Isaac doing everything you want to do in that lead run, getting nice and wide on that wall.
Real close there through the bottom, and you're right, really hard issue there for Scotty to pick, because on the dyno everything seems fine, but when he's out there, seems particularly in transitions or the big switches that it just cuts all power, which is a shame, because when he is on the power, look how much he dives on the back of Isaac Get there. He's really got the speed advantage.
Yeah, when it's on, and unfortunately it's not working tonight for Scotty, so hopefully he gets that lead run in against Isaac, and lets Isaac put on his door and puts on a show for the crowd.
It's going to be a difficult one though, with that Corolla cutting out power. That's a really dangerous position to be in as the lead car, because if you do have the car straighten up, you've got a car coming in hot behind you, like we see there. Nice. Isaac Get the definition of coming in hot. Lots of power, lots of lock, trying to better Scotty's line.
And no, there you go.
There's that straighten up I was talking about to watch out for there. Doesn't seem to phase Isaac though. He's coming around close to the barrier. And then Scotty's gone like a little rocket.
Oh, Scotty put his foot down. Oh, he's against the wall. Oh no, Isaac follows him in.
Wow.
No.
Trying to follow the line there of Scott Chambers, who after a bit of a lackluster run due to mechanical issues, just put it all to the wall, go as aggressive as he could, but then Isaac chasing him in. Once the rear's in, the front's in, boom, nearly all four wheels off the car. And I don't know how many times we have to say it, but how dangerous is the ramp on the bottom of that barrier?
Isaac gets the win, but unfortunately has a few things to fix up on his car before he can get back out there. Obviously my race suit did not bring him the best of luck.
Fingers crossed for him, hopefully just a tie rod, but could be a little bit more serious than that. Mier now chasing Feeny O'Hare in that fluoro S15. Halo Effects putting a very unique finish on that car, and doesn't it just roast?
Oh, Feeny is on the power, but take nothing away from Mier. Feeny makes a mistake, Benny has a nice, clean, consistent run here in the lead. Feeny just on and off the power there, but when it's on, that thing is absolutely chalking tyres.
That's the thing though, chalking tyres isn't necessarily quick, and while Ben Mier's car might not be putting out a whole lot of smoke, it's putting down a whole lot of traction and pulling away from Feeny O'Hare there.
Yeah, you can see that's the mistake that Feeny made there, unfortunately. Jumped the corner a little bit, had to get back on the pedal, re-clutch, and that's where Benny Mier started to pull away from him.
How's the lag monster limiter bash? Just a spool and then love it.
That's the aggression. That's what we like to see. Let's spin him around. Feeny O'Hare in the lead, Benny Mier in the chase.
Big entry, typical of Feeny. He's coming in, lots of angle, but Ben Mier happy to follow him, getting right up in there and on the driver's door of Feeny O'Hare. In the switch, nice and neat, but a bit of a speed stall from Feeny, forcing Ben to straighten a little bit, although he did manage to maintain some sort of angle. I don't think the judges will mark down for that one.
Yeah, unfortunately, Feeny put on a crazy show for the crowd, but unfortunately his nine's not where the judges want to see it. He'll get marked down for that one.
And that's a hard one, you know. When you look at drifting technically, the drive that might not be as exciting, not to say that is the case with Benny Mier, who put on a great chase run there, but, you know, looking at that from the outside and not looking at the judge line, you think, yeah, Feeny roasted it. He's all over it, heaps of lock, but when you look at the clipping points and how close they want to get into the wall, technically, that was an easy decision for Benny Mier to go through.
Here we go, Brad Toohey, James Abbott. James has been fighting dramas all practice. I don't think the car's going to work. Has been misfiring. We'll see what he can do.
No, that is the one thing I love about James Abbott's driving style. Regardless of the misfire or anything happening under the bonnet, you can trust him to clock that tacho the entire way around on the dash. He does not care. It seems like that misfire was not enough to even get a single run through, though. He's cut through the middle of the track, and Brad Toohey's out there on his own. Bit of confusion trying to see where James Abbott went, but he's still halfway through a run, going through, finishing, and getting the advantage there. Let's ride on board with Jowett now. Yeah,
as you can see, just old mate Keithy not coming on boost there. Jowett not being able to do anything, and he's going to put it on the trailer.
Jowett now joining Billick as a spectator in the pits, and look at the damage on this poor S13. You know, Billick spinning spanners at all hours of the day, really, you know, one of our front runner privateers, just putting so much effort and love into this car to get it running, and you know, has been developing it for quite some time, but it looks like possibly the strut towers moved in there. I mean, that car copped a really big hit, and for the bonnet to fly up, you know that whatever it's latched to has had a serious movement.
Let's get back to the battles. Warrick Hill against Mitch Bitcoin Sanders. That Foreman's BMW has been killing it all season. Consistent runs, doing pro and pro there for Warrick. Mitch has missed a few rounds. Good to see him back for the final round. Big things to come from him next season.
JZ versus JZ as Mitch Sanders' car chasing down, trying to get a handle on Warrick Hill. And, you know, he's out there. He's got the angle. Mitch is driving really well in the chase there. The separation is just too far apart.
Jump on board with Mitch here. He's pretty comfortable in the car there, nice and cozy. Unfortunately, Warrick just, you know, pulls a little bit of gap on it and keeps that gap consistent throughout the whole run, so you know, the judges will be scoring that accordingly.
There's the advantage. Warrick Hill getting that advantage in the lead run. They're now going to switch it around and chase Mitch Sanders, and we'll see whether that difference in pace will allow him to get nice and close. And like you were saying, Warrick Hill probably getting some of the most seat time out of anyone in this series, not only doing Pro-Am and Pro. He's had a trip over to Japan, think driving over in New Zealand as well, but yeah, that certainly didn't go to plan for him.
Throws it on Mitch's door. Mitch a little bit off the wall, not what the judges want to see. They come through the bottom corner. Can both the drivers get out nice and tight on that wall. A little bit off from Mitch. Warrick doing well on Mitch's door.
Impressive for Warrick to be able to hold that line through the bottom there, but without the width of it. Because, you know, that bottom straight, you really need to go right to the outside to be able to hold it in one direction. But luckily that Performance E46 BMW with the JZ under the bonnet just has the roast there to be able to power skid through that central part of the track and keep it out and on angle up onto the front straight. So easily keeping pace with Mitch Sanders there in the chase. Not quite getting as close as we probably know he could, but at the same time he knows he has an advantage from the first run, and now in the second run that puts him through to the top 8. There
you go, Wazza with the win. We'll be seeing Mitch again back next season for a big year.
So So there's our top 8 ladder. Bo Yates up against Isaac Gett, who did find a wall, so there might be a bye there. Mitch Cole up against Brad Toohey. Warrick Hill against Aaron Jowett. And Rob Avellino up against Benny Mier. Twin turbo V8 up against the naturally aspirated fella. That's going to be an interesting battle.
Let it go.
Before we find that out though, we're going to get back into the Hi-Tec Drift All-Stars. Riding on board with Brad Toohey, our points leader, going up against Mitchell Cole for the first of the top 8 battles.
Good to see Mitchell Cole back. Oh no! Unfortunately making a mistake there in the first corner. Congrats to Mitchell and his family on his being a baby girl, so he missed a couple of rounds. Understandable. But Brad Toohey is a man on a mission. He wants that championship and he is showing why it could be his at the end of the evening.
And that twin supercharged LS, as much as it had some teething issues all early on, has been such a reliable rig and is putting down serious power. I mean, in the new 86 chassis as well, it's just such a good combo and really, really fast.
As you can see, here's a mistake from Mitchell. Unfortunately, a little bit of a straighten up.
Lucky to pull that understeer back and keep it off the wall though. That was nicely recovered there from Mitch Cole. Definite advantage there to Brad Toohey, you know, with the straighten ups throughout the run. So it's going to be a hard one to overcome, but I'm sure Mitch Cole will put in his absolute best.
Spinning around, Toohey is on Mitch's door, not giving him an inch.
Really tight there. Dropping back a little bit through the middle. Mitch seemed to have the jump there, but you know, that is a difficult section to get traction, especially when you are roasting the rears for the majority of the lap.
Sparks flying as they come up the jump towards the final corner.
How tight's that?
Nice, looking good from Toohey there.
Little spin across the line for Mitchell Cole, but that is after the judge section, so not something that he will get marked down for. But man, really nice tight chasing from Brad Toohey there. This is the only section where the gap opens up, then he dives straight back in again, roasting through the bottom straight, and possibly even intentionally leaving that gap there so he can come in fast and on the door for the top corner. Obvious win there for Brad Toohey, so he'll be fighting it out in the finals. And this is another battle that will be decided to see if our top championship leader of Brad Toohey will be going up against number 2, Rob Avellino. And man, Scott, is Rob hungry for it.
Have a go at that cook. That new Dewars performance engine is doing exactly what it set out to do. That tune from Chucky, just listen to that thing screaming. Benny Mier is there, but pushing as hard as he can, not wanting to let Rob pull a gap on him. They come around the final corner, nice and deep there from Rob. Benny Mier looking good. It's going to be a tight one to judge.
Ben's car in the pits as well. We heard him driving around a little bit earlier before practice. Couple of, pops and backfires out the exhaust there. And judging by the way he's driving, he might just be struggling a little bit with motor there, because Ben is a very consistent and very fast driver. And it just looks like in those sections where he's used to having the power and stepping on it and washing wide into that outside section, he's just struggling to get that width of the line and follow Rob where he's going with the power, but he's still managing to keep that gap nice and tight. And there was an advantage to Rob there from the judges, but it's ever so slight, and I think it's all going to come down to this role reversal.
Couple of bubbles there from Benny Mier, not as wide as I want to see. Rob doing good to stay on his door. They come through the Esters. Remember, this is for the championship battle here. Come the final corner. Looking good from both the boys. Oh, Rob touches the wall.
Big wall
pushing hard.
There. And it ended up putting him into an understeer that seemed like a struggle to get that softly sprung 350Z back into a drift. Really difficult one, and we'll see it as he comes around the bottom here. Switch back, ducking into Benny Mier, and then just on the power, going that little bit wide, trying to better his line, tapping the barrier, then big understeer there, trying to get it to step back out again. You know, it looks a lot more serious than it is from the replay, but with the advantage that Rob had the first time round, I think that's a pretty clear-cut victory there for Rob Avellino. But I bet he was biting his fingernails until that decision came down, because as you said, he needed to get through there to even have a shot at the championship up against Brad Toohey. Now riding on board with the engine builder now, Aaron Jowett, who put together the motor that is in that Hi-Tec 350Z. Jowett's performance, building some of the angriest V8s out there, chased by Warrick Hill. I love these sorts of battles, Scott. You know, carburetted V8 up against Hi-Tec turbocharged Japanese straight six, both of them roasting.
Oh, look at Jowett start to pull away from Wazza there. That speed of that S14. Oh no.
What's happened here?
Oh, look at the cook from Aaron Jowett.
He is an absolute gun. And, you know, I'd love to get that car on a weighbridge. It would have to be one of the lightest cars in the series behind Glenn Ormerod's. You know, naturally aspirated V8, not a whole lot in the back end of that thing, and it just changes direction so quickly. But, you know, a car that's kind of that snappy and that fast, it's nothing without a driver who knows every inch of it, and Aaron Jowett is just on fire tonight.
Wazza getting pushed back into the pits. Unfortunately, maybe that little wall tap broke something in his rear end.
Oh, that is so rough there.
That's not how you want to end the night. There you have it. Bo Yates, Brad Toohey will come up against each other. Championship fighting contention here. On the other side of the tree, we'll have Rob Avellino go against Aaron Jowett.
Look at the game face on Brad Toohey as he rolls around. He will be chasing Bo the Show Yates. There's a championship gap there in the points, and Bo really under pressure. He's going to have to do something special here and knock Brad Toohey out to even have a hope at the top spot. And man, is he putting the effort into it. Nice and wide there on the outside wall, but Brad Toohey right behind him, switching back really nicely, emulating only slightly behind Bo Yates. But look at the gap opened up there from Bo. Bit of a wall tap from Brad. Car roasting, filled with smoke. Much more angle there from Brad Toohey, coming in hot but diving a little bit wide on the line there. Difficult one for the judges to call. Brad Toohey, as much as he was close, just looking a step behind there in the transitions. Bo on the wall, Toohey finding it a little bit deeper. And there's the advantage for Bo Yates. Tight one to call, but well deserved.
Be interesting to see what they do when we spin them around. Let's have Brad Toohey lead. Bo Yates in the chase, your former champion.
Slight advantage for Bo here, but he was chasing nice and tight.
That Tuesday just singing. Oh, look at Toohey's smoke cloud. Absolutely chalking. Oh no, Bo gets lost in the smoke.
Oh.
Drives off the track.
I think that might have been two wheels there, and if that's the case, that's an automatic zero.
Oh no. The smoke coming out of this 86 is phenomenal. And Bo Yates, seasoned veteran, it's not easy to drive through that smoke, I'll tell you right now. They come through the S's, you can see the cloud pluming.
We'll have to watch closely on the replay here. There's a bit of dirt on the track.
Oh, might be one, might be two.
The advantage and the win to Brad Toohey there. He'll be facing off against either Rob Avellino or Aaron Jowett to take out the top step, but that means that Bo Yates will have to fight even to get third place on the podium up against whichever driver gets knocked out in this battle, and I know both of them are hungry for it.
Rob in the lead, Jowett in the chase. Oh, a small bubble from Jowett to start off. Not how he wanted to get things going. Rob doing what he does best, using that aggression, killing those Achilles tyres off the rims.
Still just going right out wide onto that barrier. No one has matched Rob's line tonight with how deep he is willing to go into those barriers. And I'm sure Aaron Jowett behind him is getting very excited. Yeah, it makes a great noise.
Oh, as you can see in the replay here, this small bubble I was talking about right there, giving a bit of advantage to Rob off the bat. And he continues that throughout the run, just killing those Achilles tyres. Jowett engine versus Jowett engine. At the end of the day, Jowett's going to win.
So tight. Jowett behind him, just getting up in that rear bumper, but from a line perspective and also with that bobble earlier on, pretty easy call for the judges. As they spin around though, Jowett would be getting hyped in the chase position. Rob now having the bobble on the entry. winding some angle on and really leaving himself a bit of a gap here so he can try and chase back down Jowett, but that could be dangerous as we head to the last part of the run. Bettering his line there, getting out to the barriers on the track edge.
Oh, Jowett, big angle and Cook at the last corner, a little bit off the wall there.
That thing absolutely roasts.
There's the Jowett fan club on the hill, loving it. Let's take a look at this replay. Rob nice and tight on the doors. They come in that first corner. Jowett doing everything good through the S's. Both boys consistent. Coming down to the final wall. Nice push from Jowett. Rob goes a little bit deeper. Plenty of cook from both the boys. And Rob Avellino goes through the final to face up against Brad Toohey.
You know what? Without that bobble from Jowett, I think we may have even seen another one more time tonight. But that's how it goes. Brad Toohey facing up against Rob Avellino in the final.
Well done to all those boys in the first Famous Insurance Pro-Am Series run. Hats off to them. A few of them I've heard it might be stepping up to Pro and a few staying in Pro-Am, so be good to see which ones step up and take the plunge and which ones go for that championship next season.
And that's it, the Famous Insurance Pro-Am Series. It is all about developing this talent and giving people who might not be able to battle it out with the big dogs like you're seeing on screen now with Bo Yates against Aaron Jowett, giving those people the ability to develop those talents, battle against each other and still get some podiums and some confidence under their belt.
Let's get back straight into this battle.
Oh, how's that wall run from Bo Yates there?
Just listen to these engines. Oh, Yates, he taps the wall.
D-beat as well, but he does not lift for a second. Ready to put that 8.6 and the beautiful rotiform wheels on it on the line. He's calling 5-minute rule, putting his hand up to the window there. Going to quickly get the wheels turned around and changed while Jowett chills out on the line and thinks about what he's going to do, leading Bo the Show Yates.
As you can see here, jumping on board with Bo. Comes in a little bit deep. Knew he was going in, boom, keeps the power on, defeats the tyre.
I think the fact that he remained pinned there and that his line didn't change all that much is really what helped secure him that advantage there. But still going to be tight, and it's anyone's game here as Jowett leads.
Let's spin him around. Oh, Jowett, nice and deep. This is his first time in the top 4, let alone fighting for that 3rd place on the podium, and he's putting it all on the line. Bo is not giving him an inch here. Let's see what they can do coming up to the straight.
Bo is known for those bare minimum driver gap switchbacks, and we saw one right at the bottom there.
Look at the speed from Jowett.
Wow.
Oh, holds it on. Demolishes the rear end of his car. Let's have a look at that replay.
We're talking about wall taps, and while Bo Yates had a small one, that was right up to the rear wheels for Aaron Jowett. And you know what?
Keeps
the judges love to see that commitment there. You know, there's not a whole lot in the back of that car. It is fiberglass and tube, but look at that. He steers in, stays pinned, and powers through, hitting a cement barrier. What a guy.
Let's see, it doesn't do much when he hits that wall, keeps the power on and puts on a show for the crowd. Well done to Aaron Jowett, one of my young upcomers and pretty much driver of the year from where he's come from, where he started off. So congrats to him and his team. Let's get into this final for the championship. This is all or nothing. Rob Avellino in the lead, Toohey in the chase.
Our 2 points leaders here for the championship, also aiming to take out the round. It puts the 2017 trophy right in the middle of this figure 8 circuit, and both of them are going to be playing tug-of-war of it tonight.
Have a go at both these boys, putting both the cars on the line. Come around to the final corner.
The biggest smoke show of the night as the twin supercharged LS V8 under the bonnet of Brad Toohey's car goes up against the twin turbo, freshly built Joa's Performance V8. Man, these two things make a lot of power, easily in excess of 1,500 horsepower on the track at the moment, if not closer to 2,000. Both of these things smoking, getting right out to that outer barrier there. Rob Avellino still the master of the barriers on this circuit here, but Toohey chasing so closely behind Rob.
Listen to this engine roar. Pretty hard to split both those boys in that run.
Dabbing on that handbrake there, just seems all too comfortable in the chase position behind Rob. Does that mean Brad Toohey's got a little bit of extra speed up his sleeve to pull out in the lead? I'm sure Rob's not going to let that go easily. We see that now. Both cars almost door to door here. Big plumes of smoke out there. Rob trying not to get lost in the smoke screen that is Brad Tui's car, which can instantly wheel speed at a second's notice. And leaving Rob behind now as he rockets onto the straight. Man, that 8.6 is fast.
Brad Tui destroying that track. The most key point of the racetrack down the bottom there was we watch this replay will show you as you come through the S's, this is where it all counts and this is where you win your battles. Rob a little bit slow, get back in the power until he starts to pull away from the gap, and Rob just can't really win as they come to the last corner. But hats off to both these boys all season. Have put on a killer show, and it's crazy to see their driving progress. Can't wait to see what happens next year.
And there's the judges' announcement. We have our 2017 champion. Let's hear from him now with Scott.
This year, mate, Brad Tui, you've done it. You're up there on that top step. You fought hard for it. Congratulations.
Cheers, bro. Yeah, man, it was definitely a hard way to do it tonight, like hitting the wall in qualifying and bending my car. But, you know, last year, Bo won the championship, and congrats to him for winning it, but I desperately wanted it this year.
I might not have done it this year, but I can guarantee one thing. 2018, I'm coming, yeah?
Well, there you go, mate.
It wasn't the way we planned out for it, but, you know, we all had a bad year, but me, Brad and Bo had mechanical issues throughout the year, so that's no way to, you know, fight out a championship. It should always be done on the track.
Yeah, of course, mate. We haven't probably had the best year this year. We've had 2 mechanical faults, and I mean, heading in tonight, we qualified first, and I thought I was on par for it. But listen, to go through to top 4 without having a tandem, and then coming up against someone like Brad in the top 4, I mean, these guys are on fire. You could see the way that the pair of them were driving tonight, and so you can't take anything away from those two.
3 of the Hi-Tec Drift Allstars veterans topping the podium, and I think we would have known that we'd see these guys out in front at the beginning of the year, but to see those orders mixed up towards the end of 2017 and fought right down to the final battle, I don't think we could have seen any better finish to what was a tight year of battles.
That's why I can't see what 2018 has to bring. We're stepping away from the figure 8, only 1 round here next season. We're heading to Melbourne, we're heading to South Australia. It's going to be exciting. Every round next season is going to be 2 days events, Saturdays and Sundays, so we're getting the family involved. Can't wait to see what it brings.
So if you want to battle it out with the big dogs, if you want to give the Pro-Am Series a go, or even if you just want to get out there and have a skid, I'll be out there, Scott will be out there. A lot of these guys will all be driving next year and battling it out for the season. What a way to finish 2017, and it's only going to get bigger in 2018. We'll see you next year.
There's more to come after the break as we head to Phillip Island for highlights of round 2 of the 2017 Shannon's Nationals.